The first thing we need to do here this morning is to thank Daniel and Ramesh for opening their house, and doing it with a big, warm heart. I'm just going to bless them with a very short blessing. Their house should always be open for happiness and good occasions. We have the opportunity this weekend to have with us Rabbi Mizrachi from Muncie. Great speaker. Maybe you should want this to come closer because it's going to be easier for you. So before we start, this Shabbat we did together with Rabbi Raka, Kilat Shalom in Red Rogers Park. We had lectures and all the meals there. It was a great Shabbat, Baruch Hashem. I wanted to thank Rabbi Mizrachi for coming this weekend, and hopefully maybe we can work out something in the future to come again. I would like to thank every one of you for coming this morning, and hope you can enjoy the speech. Hopefully we're going to be done by 10:30. So this week you can count on getting out of here early. Just one thing before I am asking Rabbi Mizrachi to speak, if you don't mind just putting your cell phones on silent or switch them off, this way it's not going to interrupt the lecture. So Rabbi Mizrachi, thank you very much. And that's the
Thank you, Rabbi Sherman. I'm very, very happy to be in Chicago for the first time. It's strange how all these years, I speak for 18 years, and it's the first time I'm in Chicago. I've been in some places more than 20 times. And the first time I got here. And like the Rabbi Sherman said, we had a beautiful Shabbaton in Oel Shalom Synagogue, the Shul, Rabbi Rakach, and the community, and the guest of Israeling. So Baruch Hashem, now on the way to the airport, we're making here a breakfast courtesy of the Soleimani family. I already know them for years, and spreading some of my CDs here in Chicago, Baruch Hashem, and it worked out that we're going to make a 1-hour lecture here and take advantage on the morning instead of wasting it. So I was asked to speak about Shlom Bayit, peace and harmony in a family, which seems to be a very serious problem in today's generation, overall, all over the world. But we have to really focus on the Orthodox Jewish world, the religious people. It's also the problems, the divorce cases, and the problems among Jewish Orthodox family is rising, unfortunately. And so that means something is not right. Because 50, 60 years ago, if you checked the Jewish nation in Israel, for instance, even though there was more than half of the people not observant, secular Jews, the percentage of divorce was very, very small. When I was a kid, we had maximum one kid in a class of 30, 40 kids, maximum one that his parents were divorced, and he was so ashamed of that. It was such a big deal that you come from a family that the parents are divorced. It was a tragedy. Like everyone would notice this. And unfortunately, if you go to an average class today, 1 or maximum 2 generations later, you would find that almost more than half of the class coming from the divorce houses. And when it comes to secular people, there are many reasons to explain why there is high divorce rates. The question is why it happens to Orthodox people. They know how important marriage is. They get married with Torah values. They're supposed to live according to Torah values. Those things should not happen in an Orthodox Jewish family. And the question is, not only that it's happening, it's getting worse every year, the statistic getting worse. So some people wanted to say the reason the divorce rates in the Jewish community is rising because there is about 1 million Baalei Tshuva in the last 20, 25 years. There's so many Israelis and Americans and Persians and Bukharians and Russians that became Orthodox, became frum. And because they still have bad habits from the past, so obviously their situation in the marriage is not so great. And they're raising the statistic, the percentage, which is 100% true. That's one of the problems. But I'm not talking about Baalei Tshuva. I'm talking from birth, 50 generation religious, coming from houses of rabbis and rebbitzins. and their kids getting divorced, sometimes within months after the marriage. Something like this was never happening before. So the question is, what's happening here? So in general, if I ask you, what is the biggest danger to a marriage? A man and a woman, they live together with kids, without kids, before they have kids. What's their biggest danger in their marriage? From all the things that we have in this world, what do you think is the biggest threat to this partnership, what we call marriage? Where would you think that we can put the finger and say, this is the biggest enemy of the Jewish home? This is the biggest threat. If you don't fix that, there's no hope to this home to survive in peace. What do you think? Yes?
I think the connection as individuals and a marriage couple with Hashem. If there is no spirituality in their marriage and in the relationship, then, and a connection to God, then they don't know how to treat each other.
Yes.
They don't bring Torah into their family and into the relationship, then they're just dealing with the external values that they see from other people.
That's basically, it's true what you say, but I can only disagree on one thing. If only people that do not have Torah in their homes will get divorced, then your case would be solid. Unfortunately, I'm talking about people that even avrechim in a kollel, they go to learn from morning to night, all day Torah, nothing, no television, no internet, no computer, no nothing, and there's a problem in a marriage. We see it. I see it even in communities that are ultra orthodox, very orthodox, strict orthodox. There is problems in the new young generation when they get married, just not working. Too many cases that are not working. So what's going on? What's happening? Yes.
They're not willing to compromise.
Okay, you're getting close. No.
I think people are lazy. They're not willing to put 100%.
Also correct, yeah.
I think it's a basic lack of respect for the other person as an individual.
So all three of you already getting.
You're not extending yourself for the other person.
Okay, so let's progress. All of you basically are right, but I'm gonna say it in one title. What is it? In order for a person to be a good husband or a good wife, there is one very critical condition. Without this, it will never work. What is it? First, he has to be a human being. And how you become a human being? We all look like human beings, but not all of us are human beings, with all due respect. Yes, you walk, you dress, you're genius, you write, you're famous, whatever you are. Not always you behave like a human being. I'm saying human being according to Hashem expectation, not what the American society call human being. What the Torah call human being and what the people on the streets call human being today, it's completely two different things. There are generations in nature that if you were physically strong, you control and you dominate the tribe. So that means if somebody had a girl and he was living with her and you were strong and you like her, you come, you kill him and you take her, and it was perfectly legal. There used to be generations like this in the world. Until now, there's tribes somewhere in the jungles over there. They all walk naked, and over there, there's somebody who's in charge, and nobody makes a beep. In some Arab countries, it's like this. Saddam Hussein, before he fell, he used to go with his sons to houses, and he liked a married woman, and he kidnapped her from her own family, and they never see her again. Just put her somewhere, and that's it. That's how it is by the dictators. So obviously, to become a human being, it's not what the world is considering, it's what the Torah considering. Now, if a person is not a human being, which means he doesn't work on his character, he doesn't fix his bad traits, it's very difficult to maintain a home. Why? Because in home there's lots of challenges. At work, you come a few hours, you have to stand someone, you cannot stand him, but you get afraid to get fired, you need parnasa, what are you going to do? So you basically seal your mouth. But in a house, you let it loose. That's why if you want to examine a person, if he's a decent human being, you don't check him in his business in front of his customers. You check him in his own home. I always say, if you want to know about a person, if he's decent and good, all you have to do is to call his house and see how his wife picks up the phone and call him to the phone. For me, it's enough. I already know if this house is healthy or it's hell over there. Or the kids, one of the two. Why? Because the whole world may not know his bluff. It's very good on the stage. Like in Hollywood, they all look, glorious and everything is beautiful. Then when you begin to see what's happening inside, you are in shock what's happening. It can go all the way up to the President of the United States. Comes with his wife, smiling to the camera, and then one day all the dirt comes out and you wonder, just yesterday they pretend they're like such lovers and it's so much harmony there. And the next day you see that they have no relationship whatsoever. They're the biggest enemies. One wish for the other to die. That's really the situation today. But we are not talking this kind of fake. We are talking in our life. You can be famous, you can be somebody that the community respect highly, but then you find out that in a house it's not really working. Now we have to also know one thing. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees everything. You cannot fool him. You cannot modify the film. The film is recorded as you progress. עין רואה ואוזן שומעת וכל מעשיך בספר נכתבים. There's an eye who watch over you, there's a ear who listens to you, and everything you do is recorded in the book of God, which means everything will be shown. And eventually when we die, we all have a trial, and a person would see how he treats his wife, how he treats his children, and he has to be very, very careful because these things just are not going anywhere. He will have to deal with that. Now, one main problem for problems in a family, the main problem from experience of 18 years of seeing couples, it's pride and ego. Pride and ego. When you have a couple that one or both of them has pride and ego, their life is horrible. Both of them, they suffer. It's not only the person who doesn't have ego has to stand the other one that has ego. The one who has the ego and the control also suffer just as much. Because the people with pride, they suffer even more than the people around them that cannot stand them. Because they have fire, constant fire in their heart. Every little thing, disrespect me, didn't listen to me, didn't do what I say, it kills them from inside. So they take all their anger out and they destroy the house. So rule number one, in order for you to live in a house with someone, with a wife or with a husband and raise children, first thing you have to eliminate your ego. It's very difficult. A person that has ego and is full of pride and a show-off, it's very difficult for him to give respects to others. Definitely not to a woman that lives with him 20 years and he sees her 10 hours a day, or a man that she sees all the time and you're used to give respect. It's very difficult. If you have high pride, it's very difficult to function. So a first rule is, before we even talking about peace in the family, we have to cut out this pride completely. How you do it? How you do it? There's only one way. It's learning musar, but hard musar, not light musar, very hard musar. Musar means ethics, the ethics of the Torah. For instance, a person that used to be proud, nothing was working for him. You know when he started to become more humble? When I showed him all the sources, what God is thinking about him. He got really disgusted from himself. So, wow, I'm a very wicked person. I thought I'm Shomer Shabbos, I'm going to learn Torah, I'm giving tzedakah, and now I just realized that I'm a despicable human being in the eyes of God. Everyone bow down to me, they think I'm the master of the community. In reality, I'm a biggest lowlife. And I say to his face, exactly. He thought maybe I'm going to comfort him. I say, exactly. That's exactly what Hashem thinks about you. Why? Because from people who know Torah, Hashem expect. People who grew up in a kibbutz or in China, Hashem doesn't expect. What do you expect from them? They saw any truth in their life? They live in a dream. They have no idea what they live for. 99% of the Jews in the world have no idea what they live for. Ask a typical American Jew, excuse me, Mr. X, do you know what's the purpose of life? Why are you here? Why are you breathing? Why are you able to eat? Why are you able to talk, to think? Why? You understand what you're doing here? Some of them don't even believe that Hashem puts them here. You explain to them a purpose of life, they don't believe in Hashem. And those who believe there is a creator, it's a common sense, they don't know there's a connection between the Torah and Him. Yes, it's all faith. People made it up. Faith issues. But it's not, there's no indication that the Torah of these religious Jews out there obligates me in any way. So before you go to this step, there's no way to give him musar and ethic and try to change him because he doesn't recognize this book as a divine book. It's another problem. Everyone thinks what his psychologist is telling him or what he learned in college. They have no idea what they live for. You expect them to have a peace and harmony in a house when they don't even understand what they live for? It's very far. There's no chance to achieve anything here. So obviously, as you say there, religion is a very important thing to achieve success in marriage. But it's not enough. That's the whole point. It's not enough. Because you can be religious, but you're not working on your midot, the characters. And the Gaon Mivilna say, they ask him, what's the purpose of life? And he answered, Tikuna midot, ze kol ha'adam. The most important thing in the life of a Jew, or even a Goy, but he's talking mainly to the Jews now, is to correct your bad traits. You came to the world with ego, you must die without ego. You have to leave this world completely humbled. How are you going to do it? The Torah taught how to do it. You came stingy, you must die generous. You came lazy, you must die as a hard-working human being, not looking to sleep and rest all day. So whatever is negative about you, of course, not everything is negative. People have good personality issues sometimes. But we are talking what's negative now must become positive. If you die with this negative trait, that means you partially failed. If you correct your ego and you're still angry, that's a problem. You fix only some of what you're supposed to fix. You still can get a failed mark in the end. You have, in a test, they can give you 20 questions. You know 10 of them. It's not enough. You're failing. You have to get a good mark. You don't get a good mark, what happened? You know what happened if a person failed, comes in front of Hashem, and Hashem says to him, you did some good things. This is the good things you did. Now let's focus on the negative. And he gets very upset. He sees this and that. What happened? If he's lucky, Hashem gives him another chance. It's like calling a kid and saying, tomorrow we'll give you another test. Prepare better. That's called Gilgul. Gilgul means reincarnation. Put him in a new body of a baby somewhere, and he starts from zero. But he comes with the same negative traits that he died with. What he fixed is out of the test. It's already fixed it. So in other words, if he was very angry in his previous life, and with the help of the Torah and working on his character, he got rid of his anger, when he will reborn in a body, he doesn't born with anger. You see sometimes 2-year-old babies, it can be twins. One is very angry and screaming and making noise all the time, and the other one has peace of mind, quiet, playing in his corner. You take something, he doesn't scream. You can cry, but it doesn't give you any problem. Or you go with them to the supermarket. One see a candy, you're not getting him the candy, your life is over there. You're gonna make the whole place like screaming, running, rolling on the floor. He knows you're embarrassed from the people. They're clever. And the other one, he say, give me candy. You say, no, not now. He's upset in his corner. So how they know one behaving like this and one behaving like this? Because this is two adults that really, it's a trick now. We think, little babies, they're so cute, but it's really adults. 5 years ago, it was Mr. this and Mr. that. He died 70, he died 80, and Hashem put them in your house, and you're their babysitter. And that's what's happening now. You have to raise them, but it's really, we think we raise them, thanks to us they live, like sometimes, when a woman thinks, maybe God forbid, she has some kind of symptoms, chas v'shalom could be cancer, so she say to her husband, oh, chas v'shalom, if I have it, what's going to be? So one husband say to his wife, I don't understand, what's going to be? Anyway, we don't live here forever. Hashem wants you in heaven, so he'll take you young. So what are you upset? Moshe, how are you saying this? You wish me bad luck? You want to get rid of me? Chas v'shalom. Who's going to raise the kid? It always comes down to the kids. What's going to be with the kids? I don't care about myself, but the kids. So the husband is Talmid Chacham, so he said to her, you really think you're raising the kids? Hashem raise all of us. We are only the babysitter. We don't raise them. We're just watching them. It's not in our hand. It's 100% in Hashem's hand. The parnasa, the food. The Gemara says, Tinok ba ve'kikaro beyado. His bread comes in his hand already. We don't see it literally. He's born, he needs his mother milk, but it means the parnassah of a baby is added to your budget. That's why many Jews who do not want to have more than 2-3 kids, you ask them why, say it's too expensive. You know how much it costs to raise a kid in America? It's $1 million. 20 years, with college, with this, with dorm, with that. You already calculate every drop of water that he will drink. It's $1 million. What do you think I'm doing? I'm working for the government. I make $50,000 a year. I'm going to support more than 2. Then he gets 3 dogs. Whatever, but he thought he saved on the kid, then he has to spend on the dog. You know, in America, there's a great love for dogs and pets. A lot of people, you go in Manhattan, you see so many thousands of people get up 5, 6 in the morning before they have to catch the train. They walk with the dogs, and then they have to pick up what the dogs leave on the floor. And if you come and tell them, this is you are such a punished person. You say, punished? I'm so blessed. My best friend. So they don't know that basically, they don't realize. You see, when a person lives in mistake, he have no idea what's going on. So he doesn't realize that this is a Jew, is a divine soul, who is one of the only people in the world that consider a chosen people. Only 13 million Jews in a world of 7 billion people. And what did he choose in his life? To serve the filthiest animal in the Torah. From 2 million animals, worse than the pig, it's the dog. The Torah said the filthiest animal. Yeah, he's a friend of a human being, he can save your life. We know that. He watched the house. Fine. But I'm talking spiritually. Even among the animals, there's different level of spirituality. The one that is not as bad is the donkey, believe it or not. Why? Because the Torah said the donkey that is born, firstborn of a donkey, you have to give to the Kohen as a gift. Even though it's an impure animal, it's not kosher, you cannot eat a donkey. But something in a donkey, I don't know why, we have to ask Hashem, it's his secrets. Something in a donkey make him better than all the other 2 million species in nature. Why? There's no other animal besides the kosher animals. We're talking now the non-kosher animals. From 2 million species, the donkey is the only one that Hashem said the firstborn is holy. Cannot use it. You have to give it to the Kohen or redeem it from the Kohen by giving him a goat or something. But the worst one is the dog. The worst one. Even the Zgmarot should not have a bad dog in a house, and if you have it, make sure he's in the backyard. So he is actually this Mr. Doctor or Mr. Professor in college, the Jew, he is serving an animal. He's like his baby, serving him. Instead of putting his efforts on having another soul and helping Hashem with what he wants, he chooses to raise 1 or 2 or 5 dogs, and that's become his best friend. What does it tell you about his neshama? If he's connected to a dog, that's his level, that shows that he's in a very, very low spiritual level. Now I know it's hard to digest what I say for those who love dogs, but maybe you have to reconsider. You understand? So that's what we're talking here about. A person can live 20, 30 years, he even think it's a mitzvah. Wow, this is my best friend, I'm taking care of him. It's better you take care of another soul. The money you put here, put over here. But no, it's too expensive. Why? Because over here there's Yetzer Hara. So people think they raise the children, you're not. They come to the world, it's a continuation from their previous life. So now, if we're now going to correct the personality, marriage can never be ideal. There's always going to be problem. First problem, ego and pride. What's the second? Second worst problem, an enemy of marriage, anger. Anger is results of ego. Basically, if you eliminate the ego, most likely the anger goes down with it. Anger, there's 2 reasons for it. One is pride. You think you're somebody important, and you don't really acknowledge your real level. In a world that Hashem made, everyone thinks he's the king of the world. So once a person eliminates his pride, automatically he's not upset with certain things like he used to. For instance, we go to his friend's wedding, and they made him sit with his back to the band, so he's not going to see the show. If he's a proud person, If the check was $1,000, the gift, right away take off a zero. His wife said, "What are you doing, Itzik? What's this?" So I'm going to teach this one a lesson, this chatzuf. After 20 years with friends, he put me with the back, he put me in a corner like a dog. He makes a scene. If it's in Israel, he can take the table like this. What happened, sir? Why? Anger, it's results of pride. But if he's a humble person, whatever you give me, thank you very much. I'm lucky I'm breathing. I have no expectation. The higher the expectation are, the higher the disappointments are. If a person don't have expectation, just let me breathe. He came from Africa in a time of slavery, and they released him, and they put him in America, and he lives in a shed. He's very happy. Why is happy? Because what did he have a week ago? They beat him up with a whip. So somebody else come and see him, and he say, "Why are you so happy you live in a shed?" He said, "Do you know where I was before? If you see where I was a week ago, you understand, for me it's better than anything you can imagine." Why? He doesn't have expectation. Other person that have expectations, when they don't achieve what they expect, they constantly disappointed. So anger, the Torah compares someone that is angry to an idol worshipper. How? What's the connection between an angry person to an idol worshipper? So if we see Mr. Lee in China, one time I walked in Manhattan, in downtown, and the Chinatown is expanding, as you understand. So it got to the Jewish area, Lower East Side. So, I used to live in Lower East Side. So when I walked in the street, I saw a store, and I heard music. I was curious, what's going on over there? So I made a right, and I looked inside, and I saw about 6 or 7 Chinese with drums going around. Buddha is on the table. They're all going down, and they're bowing down, and they go like this to their idols. I said to myself, wow, it's exactly like in the time of the Torah. Idols worshippers. So I felt so sorry for these people. I said to myself, look at these people. They worship a piece of a rock. Someone designed it in his factory, and that's their God. So what happened? Later in years, I say, well, someone is angry, is just like them in the eyes of Hashem. He feels sorry for them. In reality, he's just as bad as them. Think about it. Why? Now I want to see who got the point here. Why Hashem says that if a person is an angry wolf, is considered like an idol worshipper in his eyes? Why? Yeah?
Because we should know and understand that everything comes from Hashem. So if things that don't go our way, because Hashem doesn't want to go our way, and we should accept it with complete happiness and a joy and a full heart and say, Hashem wants me to go through this, and I have no problem with it. Otherwise, I'm saying I'm God and I don't like this, and I'm throwing a tantrum.
100%. That's the answer. Because when a person knows there is a boss to the world, and whatever happened needs his approval, which means what just happened to me, this flat tire, that's past the approval of the boss of the world. What is it for me to be angry? When I don't see the boss in the world around me in my life, which everything is coincidence, then I understand why I get upset. Why? Bad luck. Why I didn't leave the house 5 minutes before. I wouldn't get stuck. It's all my wife's fault. It's all my neighbor's fault. This neighbor always come in the wrong time. Why is it? Because he doesn't see there's a supervision and it's all according to the plan. That's why he's equal to an idol worshipper who believes in a piece of a rock. Why? Because he doesn't believe in Hashem. He doesn't believe in Hashem, and he doesn't believe in Hashem. So what's the difference? Same thing. So let's move on. So how you correct the anger and the pride? The pride, you read that Hashem says, someone that is proud, I cannot stand. I cannot be in the same place like him. He is despicable in my eyes. Someone that is proud, he loses wisdom. He loses wisdom. It is a lot of damages to his life because of this horrible trait, which is pride. Please. So, what's going on? So we must read how bad it is and get rid of it. Same thing, the pride, the anger. The anger, a person has to control himself. What's the right way to control anger? Learn a lot of musar and penalize yourself every time you get angry. You make like a neder. So every time I'm going to lose my temper, I scream, I insult a person, I disrespect someone from my arrogance, I put whatever you can afford, $10 in a box, $50 in a box, according to something that would hurt. If a person make $1 million a year, $10 in a box won't make a it reminds me, I used to give lecture to Israeli young guys, so they used to make a lot of noise. You know, the 18, 19, lots of noise. So one time I said, okay, that's it. If you want to continue the lecture, everyone who I catch making noise, he has to put $5 in a box. We put the money in the yeshiva box. So they say, okay, fair enough. So one guy got up, he took out $20, he puts it in a jar, and he said, I'm paying up front for the next 4 times, because I know already I'm paying you up. So the idea is to put something, to penalize yourself in something painful. What is it like? A person likes to drive fast. Everything in his life is fast, quick. From one thing to that. He doesn't want to drive 60 or 50. He wants to drive 80. So it's foolish anyway. The road is empty, 5 lanes. What am I driving 55? So he drives 80. He drives 6 months like this until he gets pulled over. First time he gets pulled over, it's $200-300 tickets, has to go to court, and there's an insurance go from $1,000 a year to $2,000 a year. So what happened automatically? Next time he's dying to drive fast, but he knows the pain of being caught. The next time he gets caught, it will be $500 damage. Maybe he loses his license. It will affect his parnasa, his work. So he's forcing himself to drive slow. He's forcing himself. Why? Why is forcing himself? Because he knows the pain of the price. Same thing over here. When a person knows the next time I'm going to scream or make a show here, it will cost me $50, believe me, that's going to hold him down. And then after a while, I get used to it. Now, one more enemy of marriage. What is it? It's more applying to the men, but in America, not anymore. But in a Torah, it was ideal that the men supply the parnasa. That's what he signs on a ketubah. And the wife used to be housewives. Today it's not the case anymore because some wives make more than the husband. So the idea is like this. Generosity, it's very important for healthy marriage. If the husband is very stingy and every dollar that his wife spends on a credit card he goes over and check and ask and investigate and make faces, then this marriage can never be successful. Now usually why it's happening? Because the man doesn't have 1% emunah in Hashem. He thinks he's religious, but he's dreaming. Because the first thing, when a person can call himself, I'm a frum Jew, I'm religious, doesn't mean I'm keeping the mitzvot like a robot. No. I know many goyim who keeps mitzvot better than us, I promise you. I have many of them. You should read the email. I have to convince them not to keep Shabbos. Yes, I tell you, you're not allowed. You go, you're not allowed. No. I know that's what Hashem wants, I'm going to do it one way or the other. One of them even told me, I told him, it's actually risking your life. Because the Torah says in Masechet Sanhedrin, the Gemara, that a goy that keeps Shabbat risking his life. So what did he answer me? I rather die being Shomer Shabbat and risk my life than be what I was until now. So we have plenty of goyim like this, they're righteous goyim. So what are we better than them? Just because we put tefillin like a robot and we read? So what really makes us religious? First rule is emunah in Hashem. Means I trust Him and I have confidence in Him in everything. That He will supply me what I need, not what I want. What I need, it's a big difference what you want and what you need. And He will always do what's the best thing in this given second for me. Yeah, it may look bad, surgery, problem, jail, everyone with this problem. But right now, the Torah promise, whatever Hashem does to you, it's the best possible option that you could have. The best possible option. So if a person has emunah, he's not frustrated, he's not aggravated, he knows it's all for good. It changes his life completely. One of the things to have emunah is to be generous, not to check. He said to his wife, here is the box, here is all the cash, here is the credit card. I trust you to buy only what's necessary. And that's it. Doesn't check. Why? If he check, it shows he doesn't trust Hashem. He's afraid. Why do you worry so much? Why do you worry? You think that you are the one who mefarnes the bayit? It all comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So that's very important, because sometimes I see that even husband and wife in some houses that I come to take care of their shlom bayit, I find out they have two separate money system. Her money and his money. So, well, what kind of marriage is this? Like they do in America, prenup agreement. Before they get divorced, they already discussed, because before they get married, they're already discussing the divorce. What a way to get married. What a way to get married. Before, you already tell them, when we get divorced, that's what you're going to get.
Isn't that what the ketubah is?
No. No, I tell you why. Because the ketubah have both sides obligation. She has obligation and he has obligation. Over here...
But it's still talking about what happens if the marriage doesn't last.
Right, you're right. It's a good point.
So you recommend prenup or not?
No, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend. But I have to tell you something. I also recommend that a person, when he goes on a date and is a wealthy man, he should hide his wealth. Which means if he has a $200,000 car, he should rent a car that's worth $15,000 and come to the date as a very simple man. If he has an expensive watch, go without a watch, or a cheap watch. Go with a simple suit. For the first 3 days, make sure the girl doesn't know who you are, what you are. And then you see if she's interested to continue to go with you. And after that, then it's no problem to tell her your wealth, because she was interested in you. Unfortunately, some women, they don't care about the man. They just care about how much they're going to have. I once had a guy, he made $60 million in 1 year. Became very wealthy. He bought some liquor from Paris. He sold it to a distribution company. Young guy, he was 31 years old. I happened to make him religious. So one time I set him up with a girl, Ba'alat Tshuva. I knew he's looking for beauty, this, that. So we find one pretty girl. We thought maybe it's a good combination. So he showed up with his 200,000 custom-made Mercedes. So I say to him, you leave your key here, take my lousy car. It's $2,000 car. Take it. So he said, what is this, take it? I said, what do you want? You want the girl to marry you, or you want her to marry your car? He said, don't exaggerate. Wow. She's anyway going to know about my car. I say, yeah, in the third date, not in the first one. Take off this watch, take this, go, it's right next to me, the house. Go on a date. Don't tell her anything about your wealth. Tell her I'm making a living, thank God, I'm okay. Don't give details. See if she wants to meet you at least the second time. Or do you know she's interested in you? But he didn't want. So I said to him, you know what, in that case you don't need to go to the date. Just send your driver. Here is my master has this car. You marry him? Of course. Didn't work out anyway in the end. So materialism, it's a big problem in life. The more we're addicted to material, the more we far away from Hashem. And if we far away from Hashem, how are we going to correct our bad traits? Without Hashem in your life, it's very difficult. So a person has to realize materialism, it's poison. I need to only take what I must have. If you need a big house because you have a lot of guests coming, Shabbos, family, this, fine, no problem. It's not a sin to have a big house. But it doesn't have to be a $10 million mansion. It can be a big house in a decent size. If you need a good car because you drive a lot, you don't need a $200,000 Ferrari or whatever. You can drive a $15,000, $20,000 Toyota or Honda. It's still gonna get from here to LA 15 times a year. It's no problem. It will drive. Problem with people is it's all show off, status. I'm the best. I'm the richest. Then there's no religion here. Religion is against all these things. Religion means to be humble, down to earth. You don't need a $50,000 ring, and everywhere she goes, she makes sure that all her friends sees it. This is religion.
Isaac did the same. He sent his driver.
Not Isaac. Abraham. No, I tell you what. Let me explain to you something. He didn't have that many options. He only need from one family. What's the chance? Imagine, God forbid, a person is only allowed to marry a girl from one family. So it's either yes or no. He makes sure not to make mistakes. Well, you can marry everyone. You know, by the Persians, they have something that called mashhadim. There's a city Mashhad in Iran. So they only marry themselves. Now, listen, there is thousands of Mashhadi guys and girls in their 40s who do not get married, and some of them die single. And they still insist with this nonsense which is completely against Hashem, that they will only marry the people from their own city. Other Persian, not good for them. Forget other Ashkenazim and Syrian and this. Other Persians speak the same language, same everything, same food, look the same, everything the same. Not good for me.
But not anymore.
Not anymore?
No.
I have news for you. Just 2 days ago, I met a 39 years old, very fancy businessman from Manhattan. And he said to me, listen, you see that I became very religious now, and I want to marry a girl. I said, I have a few girls for you. No. I say to him, wait a minute. Now I realize. You don't want because she's not Mashhadi? He said, yes. I said, why, Isfahani is not good? He started to tell me why it's not good. I said to him, Kashan is not good? He started to give me a lecture why it's not good. I said, Shiraz? He went, like this. So I said to him, come on, you're not 20. You're 39. You want to have kids in your life or you want to stay with your nose up here? So he goes like this. I said to him, okay. I promise you, exactly that's what happened.
My mom is not, my father is Mashhadi.
That's why
My mom is Hamadani.
I got to tell you something. Why do you think you have a lecture in your house? Because they are going according to Hashem's wish. That's why Hashem give you the zchut. Anyway, so let's be serious a little bit. Time is running out. So now the third problem is generosity. Now, how do you take a stingy husband and train him to be generous? It's his nature. He doesn't want to spend money on himself. You want him to spend on his wife. He goes to the store. You have any shoes on sale? He wants to send $10. Well, I had a friend, he has a catering place somewhere in New York. So he said to me, I want to show you something. He said, you see this guy? I say, yes. You see on the car outside, there's this woman? I say, yes. He said, this is husband and wife. I say, no, why are you showing me them? He said, he's the owner of this company. It's a company that worth $300 million. Very, very fancy, wealthy family. So he says, okay, so well, I thought maybe he want to brag that he has fancy customers. So he said to me, I offer for everyone who buys more than $12, I offer him free kugel. So he comes in, he buys $13, he take a kugel, and then she comes in like this every week, and she buy $15, and they get another kugel that's worth $3, whatever. And they have $300 million company, and maybe 20 houses in town that they own. So he said to me, understand what's going on here? So now somebody like this is mentally sick. I said to him, you look at that as how horrible it is, but you don't understand how they suffer. You don't understand. You can have billions. The Torah says, Ezu ha'ashir hasameach bechelko. They're not happy for what they have. It's not enough for them. They're missing something. It's all in the mind. You can be a hard-working man and making a living barely, and you're very happy and blessed with what you have. Can be totally wealthy, and you non-stop worry and suffering. I know a doctor like this. He make $1 million, $1.5 million a year. All his colleagues make 150. He told me, I got lucky. I went in connection with someone. He got me in the right connection. He make almost $1.5 million a year. Doctor in the hospitals, and he doesn't have a second of rest. All the time, his hand like this. Sit with him in a dinner, like this, his leg. He said, relax, what's the problem? I lost 5,000 in the market. It kills me. I said to him, don't be a fool. Whatever we make, it's a bottom line. We make, we lose, here, there. It doesn't matter. It's on an illusion. In the end, what counts, from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah, how much Hashem gave you, now you know. It doesn't matter. You make, you lose. It's nonsense. It doesn't help. So, but I don't have this emunah. I say, yeah, I know. People without emunah, they're the most miserable people on earth. They don't have 1 second of rest. They always worry. What's going to be? Who's going to marry the kids? Well, how are we going to afford this? How are we going to pay for that? Next month is the mortgage. All the time they worry. They always worry about something. You have emunah, you have a peace of mind. It's my problem. It's Hashem's problem, not mine. It's a very good change in our personality when we understand that we do 1% and Hashem does 99%. But the Torah warned from it. Kochi v'otzem yadi, if you think you do 99% and I'm going to do 1%, that's what's going to be. I would leave you to yourself. And you kill yourself, another job, come midnight at home, get up in the morning like a dog, 5 in the morning, he could not even go to the bathroom, doesn't have time to sleep. Why? He's going to lose $1,000 a month because he needs another shift. What for? Why you kill yourself? Just talk to Hashem, beg Him, send me I need, and He'll send you the money in a much easier way, but people don't understand. Now, somebody like this can be a good husband. Every little thing is driving his wife crazy. Everything. The kids broke something in the house, there's a big fight. She bought extra something from the supermarket, go return it, I'm not going to give you money anymore. What kind of marriage is this? Can never be successful. So how you train him? You ask him to give 1/4 every time he goes to shul, shachrit, put 1/4 in a pushke box. Mincha, 1/4. Arvit, 1/4. 75 cents a day. Can you handle it? You tell him? Okay. So he put 1/4, he feel a little fire in his heart, then Mincha, then Arvit, okay. 1 week, he put the 1/4, then he gets used to the pain. That's the way the people are. אחרי הפעולות, נמשכים הלבבות. The Torah says, after the actions, the hearts adjust according to what you force yourself to do. You don't like food, you eat it 10, 20 times, it will be your favorite food, guarantee. In the beginning, you cannot smell it, and then after that, you cannot live without. I know one Moroccan guy, got married to Ashkenazi. So first time she brought gefilte fish, it was almost a divorce that day. So you bring me this? Forget it. Today? Where's the gefilte fish? I said to him, Moti, you came a long way. He said, well, I don't know why we don't like it. It's delicious, he said. I said, you say it. I still didn't adjust to it. My wife also Ashkenazi. She knows she doesn't bring it near me. Anyway, what's the idea is like this. You train him to give. After a week, he gets used to it. Then you tell him, okay, now you put 50 cents. So it's training, like in a gym. First day, 1 pound. Then the next week, 5 pounds. The next week, 10 pounds. After 5 years, 300 pounds. It's very, very muscular already. He doesn't feel. Because he gets used to it as we go. So you train him. Give a little bit more. Then he gets to a point that he gets used to it, that I'm giving, and it didn't really affect me. I still make money. I give and Hashem sends me. I realize, with lots of learning of emunah, there's no point of being stupid and fighting for money. That's it. I one time went to a rabbi in New York, and I told him, someone took money from me, doesn't return it, I want to sue him, I have all the documents, I want to take him to Beit Din. So he told me, don't waste your time. So why? I have all the documents, witnesses, checks, security, everything. They'll see right away. So no, there's no question, of course. But he says, Beit Din, a court, it's for people who have no faith in God. Don't believe in God. I say to him, Rabbi, with all due respect, half of the Torah, it's about court. The laws of money between people, it's half of the Torah. He said to me, the Torah has to speak to all levels of Jews, from the highest to the lowest. Even to people who don't have faith in Hashem, and they don't have emunah, they think we do everything. The Torah has to give solutions for them, otherwise they'll kill each other for money. So the Torah has to say, what you do, relax them by take them to Beit Din. But from someone like you, I expect to know that if you deserve this money, Hashem has many ways to send it back to you. It doesn't need to do it through the Beit Din. And if you don't deserve it, even if you win in Beit Din, you lose it again somewhere else. Whatever you deserve, it's yours. Nobody can touch $1. I say, how simple. Standing like a fool in front of people, fighting for money, arguing, this. What for? Shem, thank you very much. If it's mine, you give it. If not, thank you very much. Better you took this and not my life. Finished. And you move on. And you see that Shem sent it from different way. And that's exactly how it was. So you see, you can do it in an easy way if we have emunah. Without emunah, everything, it's a struggle. And it's very important for marriage. Now, patience. Patience. What's the reason that people don't have any more patience for anything? Anything, for people, for customers, for their wife, nothing. Why? Also ego, also pride. It's connected to pride. If a person is humble, he has patience for everyone. He respects even the stupid people, not only the genius. When a person is full of ego, he doesn't have patience for anyone that is less than him. As soon as he comes, he doesn't even want to be near him. I even heard one time a religious woman say to her husband, "You planning to invite all the guys from the yeshiva?" So he said to her, "Sure, why not?" She said, "They're not bringing gifts, and I don't want them too much in the wedding. It's not good for the atmosphere. Yeah, they come with black hats, and it's not for the classy guests that we have in such fancy place, and they're not bringing gifts. What do we need them for? Maybe we can skip them." That's where it come from. That her nose is all the way up in the moon. Why is it? Because she's not religious. She thinks she is. She comes in front of Hashem. Like some people are racist. They had this kind of Jews and that kind of Jews, and this one not my style, and this one I cannot be near, and this one are like this. So they think we're so religious, we learn Torah. They come in front of Hashem and say, "Get out of here, I don't want to look at you." So why, Hashem? So you hated every one of your brothers. You want me to like you? If a father sees that he has a son that hates all the other family and constantly make them problems, can he like him? How can he like him when he makes everybody else miserable? And that's what happened today. Some people don't like this nationality and this one, so that's a big problem. So let's move on. One other way is that the husband and the wife will learn their job in marriage. Better late than never. It should have been done before the marriage. And everyone would learn what's the role of a husband. What does he sign on the ketubah? 99% of the guys that sign the ketubah have no idea what they sign on. Do you know that? Anybody here that signed the ketubah knows what he signed on? One of the things the husband signed is to give his wife everything she needs. A place to live, clothes to wear, and food to eat. Everything she needs. Doesn't have to give her tons of jewelry. In the holidays, the Torah say, buy her a nice jewel, a gift, fine. But overall, he has to supply all her demands. If she works, all her money goes to him. She can say to him, "Don't give me any money like you sign on a ketubah, I forgive. Let me keep my salary for myself, don't give me anything, it's fine." But if she receives what he promised, whatever she makes, that's a part of the deal. In a ketubah belongs to him. That's the deal. Now, one more thing. One of the things that a husband promised to his wife is to be intimately connected with her, which means they have relationship, not just roommates who raise children. And that's an obligation. So it means if the wife wants to be with her husband and he wants to go away with his friends tonight, so by doing that, it's like not putting tefillin or like eating chazir. But he doesn't realize. He thinks, "Chazir, you give me a pork, you want me to eat, you're normal? You don't see my beard?" You say, "Okay, so you don't eat pork, fine. But what did you do last night? Sat with your friend playing cards or watch a stupid game. When your wife was alone and she wanted you and she asked, 'Are you coming?' It's an obligation from the Torah. Obligation, signed with witnesses. He doesn't do it as a sin. It ruins a lot of marriages. He wants to be married, but still wants to stay single with his friends. Live in both worlds. It happens to the young generation now. Nobody explained to him what marriage is. He got not used to it. They're not used to it. They don't understand. They think it's boyfriend and girlfriend, like they're begoim. When you're in the mood for her, you call her. It doesn't work that way. There's obligations over here. You violate your obligation, you're going against Hashem, not only against your wife. And one last thing before we finish. When a person gets married, his parents basically do not exist anymore. Yeah, he has to give them respect, everything, we know that. But the Torah says, "Ve'azav et aviv ve'imo ve'davak b'ishto." Same thing the woman. Once she got married, her beautiful Persian parents cannot control her anymore. Live next to us, come here every Shabbat, holidays you must be by us, your father will get very angry. It's over. You have now a new boss, is your husband, and you have a new queen, is your wife. That's it. And you got to do things together, which means today many problems in marriages, especially for the young couples, because their parents push their nose into their house. What did he give you? What kind of gift? I even knew a couple that were about to get divorced. The next day they already they go to the Beit Din, and a guy called me telling me out of desperation, so you're not even 1 year married. He said, you know what happened a few days ago? Her car broke. It took me 3 days to take her to the garage because I was very busy at work. So the parents saw that she doesn't have car for 3 days. They started to tell her what kind of a husband. He doesn't care. He only cares about his car. He doesn't care that she's stuck at home. So they started to drive her crazy. And they already had 1 kid, 1 baby. So she said, the mother comes here. She opened the kitchen cabinets to see how much food we have. So your husband is stingy. He doesn't even buy food. Why did you marry this guy? Take the baby and come to us. So Baruch Hashem was smart to call me. If he wouldn't call me, the next day would be divorce. So I went there right away after my lecture. It was midnight. And I finally explained to them what marriage is. And I made sure that their parents would not step there anymore. Send them to Florida. That's what happened. Isolate them from the family, and that's what saves his marriage. Yes, your parents raised you, you owe them a lot. If you can help them, it's fine. You respect them, no problem. But not on the expense on your spouse. She or he comes before. That's a big problem. I cannot go against my father. You crazy? My father say like this. We have to listen to him. No, it's not true. Your wife is more important than your father. That's what the Torah say. She's your whole world. And he is your whole world. And everything else is secondary. If not, the marriage will always suffer problems. Always, always. It comes in holidays. Where we going to go? Where? And they come. And the mother criticizes him. One more thing. A man can never say to his wife, I want you to learn from my mother how to cook this. That's basically already the end of the marriage. You know, go to my mother, she teach you how to make a real gondi. Sometimes she doesn't show. But then the next day she speaks to her sister, you don't understand. Why are you so depressed? He doesn't like my food, complain all the time. So even if her food tastes like poison, he has to say the best chef, the best cook. The best. Eat, suffer, and don't offend her. One wife, she was making tea for her husband before he goes to the yeshiva every morning for 6 months. Then one day he left a little tea. Let me finish it. She drank, she saw it's salty. She's been putting salt every day. And he doesn't, salt. He's drinking salty tea and he doesn't tell her, my wife, you put salt in the tea instead of sugar. They don't want to offend her. So a husband has to help in a house if he can. If he works very hard, whatever, he's in kollel, yeshiva, the wife has to understand. But if he comes home 5 o'clock from his office and he has time, why not to help? Why not to do shopping? Why not to take the kids with you in a car and give her some rest? Go here, go there. Give her 2-3 hours to read a book, to have some rest. It's mitzvah from the Torah to help. Not come home like an Arab sheikh, put his legs on the couch like this on the thing and sit over there. He doesn't even want to get up to make a cup of tea. He waits 2 hours until his wife comes from work. Oh, Miriam! You came right on time. I want tea. 2 hours he's thinking, should I get up? Not. What is this? So, one way to be successful in marriage is to give tons of compliments to each other. You're the best, and this and this and that. Also, not compliments only about the food and what a great mother you are and what a great person you are and you're so righteous and da-da-da-da. That's needless to say. Compliments about the beauty, so pretty, you look so good. Now what happened? One guy comes to me and say, I think my wife is cheating on me. So I say to him, what makes you think so? He said, listen, we got married 6 months. It was beautiful. Such love, so romantic, everything. Then all of a sudden now, she's avoiding me. I have a headache, I don't feel good, that, I have to go to the doctor. I'm tired, I have headache. It's not the same. So I told him, no. He said, but I checked around and I don't see anything. I don't see any sign that she does have someone. So I said to him, let me ask you a question. Did you tell your wife recently that she gained weight? He said, yes, she did. I said, okay, so your marriage is over now. I said, now it's going to tell you 20 years to fix it. I said, of course, she lost all her confidence next to you. It's nothing to do with another person. She was your queen. You had attention to her. She thought, I'm the most pretty one for him. And now all of a sudden you tell her, you gain weight, you this, that, you're not. Take care of this, take care of that. She loses her confidence. It's very natural. People don't think. They first shoot, and then they work 20 years to fix one stupid mistake. To build the twins took many years. To knock it down took a second. That's the way it is. One sentence not in the right place, now you have to sweat 20 years to fix. You know how many times he's going to have to tell her you lost weight, you look great, until she get convinced? After he told her that, he said, wow, I didn't realize. And now you know. If you learn about relationship, you'll never make this mistake. Also a woman, her husband come home, not right away to attack him. I had a horrible day, he drives me crazy, she drives me, talk to him, talk to her. After all day, no, how are you, how was the day, let's eat dinner together. Also it's important to learn together. 10, 15 minutes a day, they have a book, Garden of Peace, Garden of Emunah, all kinds of books that you can learn together. When you learn Torah with someone, it makes spiritual connections. It makes the connection tighter. Same thing when you eat with someone. Few things will make good connection. That's why in America, first thing in business, let's meet in a lunch, business lunch. Why lunch? What if the food has to do now with buying the product? Because it makes good communication. It's personal relationship. First we become friends, we eat together in the same table. Now it's much easier to convince him to buy the product. So it's needless to say, husband and wife, they make at least one meal a day, or in the morning, or in the night, breakfast, dinner, eating together, and if the kids around, it's even better. It doesn't have to wait for Shabbos. You can do it once a day. That makes harmony in a house. Never to fight in front of the kids, never to disrespect each other, never to use dirty curses and stuff like that. Of course, needless to say, violence. Violence is the end of the marriage. If a man hit a woman, if she wants to give him another chance, it's up to her. She doesn't even have to. But second time, it has to be over. That's it. That this marriage already lost their value. And you see, there's a lot of violence today. Lots of violence. Police, 911, arrest, order of protection. What's going on here? By the goyim, it's common. It was always the case. But the frum people, guy with the yarmulke is going to shul, is going to learn every day, daf yomi, whatever. Now his wife says, beating me up. What's going on here? So obviously, I have a lot more to say, but I have to go. I have to catch a flight. So again, thank you to the Soleimani family and to all of you who came in the morning for breakfast. Thank you to Rabbi Sherman that invited me to Chicago in first place. And hopefully we'll have a chance to meet again. Now there's a beautiful table here with lots of delicious food. Please enjoy yourself. Thank you very much. Have a good week.
You don't want to fill the fish because you didn't eat
The one I ate, I almost fainted.
No. Filter fish is when you cut out the fish and fill it.
Ah.